Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and really get to the core insights you need. And today, well, we're diving deep into what was truly a colossal day in Major League Baseball. It felt like a microcosm, really, of everything that makes the sport so compelling. We've sifted through, the details of every single game, from stunning shutouts and mind-blowing offensive explosions to a whole flurry of doubleheaders and, yeah, a few outcomes that probably nobody saw coming. So our mission here is to unpack the key moments, the surprising facts, maybe the deeper meanings behind the scores, basically give you a shortcut to being truly well-informed about this, well, wild day of baseball.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, I think,
Hmm.
is that while the raw data, just shows wins and losses,
Yeah.
yesterday really presented this rich tapestry of narratives. It wasn't just about who won; it was about how they won, right?
True.
And what those victories, or the defeats too, reveal about the teams, about strategy, about the game itself.
Absolutely. After digging through all those results, one of the patterns that really struck me was the sheer pitching dominance in several games. It was a strong reminder, wasn't it, that even now, with offense getting so much attention, sometimes a single run just feels like a mountain to climb.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Take the Seattle Mariners 1-0 victory over the Baltimore Orioles. Perfect example. This wasn't just, low scoring. It was like a masterclass in pitching defense. The Mariners starter, for instance, he induced, 7 key ground ball outs? In really high leverage spots, just pinpoint command, that razor thin margin. It really just underscored how unforgiving baseball can be at this level.
Yeah, unforgiving is the right word. And we saw that kind of suffocating control elsewhere, too. Think about Game 2 of the Detroit Tigers and Chicago White Sox doubleheader, another 1-0 win
Yeah.
for the Tigers this time.
Right.
It was just a classic battle where Detroit's pitchers basically gave the White Sox offense, well, no breathing room at all. Or the Colorado Rockies, Game 1 against the Cardinals, shutting them out 3-0. I mean, holding the Cardinals scoreless, especially at home where they're usually so tough, that's a remarkable feat.
It really is. And it wasn't always just one guy being dominant either. Look at the Oakland Athletics winning 6-0 over the Tampa Bay Rays. That showed how their whole rotation can manage the strike zone. I think I saw they generated something like 15 swinging strikes just on off-speed stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, consistently keeping the Rays hitters off balance. They just couldn't square anything up. That strategy winning out, forcing a really frustrating loss for Tampa Bay.
So what does it really tell us then when teams can still pull off these throwback low-scoring wins in today's game?
Well, I think fundamentally it speaks to defensive precision, right? And bullpen depth. That's huge. These wins aren't always about strikeouts. They're about executing a game plan, minimizing those costly mistakes, and having reliable arms, guys you can trust to navigate that late game pressure. It really shows which teams have built a complete roster.
Okay, so from let's call it the strategic quiet of those pitching duels, let's pivot now to the thunder at the plate, because yesterday also saw some bats just ignite, turn some games into, well, pure offensive fireworks.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
The Phillies and Reds game, for instance. Cincinnati's offense just exploded for 6 runs. But what I found interesting was how balanced their attack was. It wasn't just home runs. They were executing hit and runs, taking advantage of shifts, putting guys in scoring position with patience. It was smart hitting.
And talking about dominant offenses, you have to look at the Yankees. 9 runs against the Twins. It wasn't just raw power, though, was it? Their hitters showed really impressive plate discipline.
Exactly.
Extending at bats, making the Twins pitchers work way harder, 25% more pitches in the first 5 innings or something.
Yeah, that kind of patience leads directly to things like, 3 bases loaded walks.
Right. That's a strategic win right there. Broke the game open, showed their depth.
That kind of tactical hitting, that's what separates the good offenses from the truly great ones. And the Mets, they had a pretty rare offensive outburst, putting up 13 runs on the Braves.
Against the Braves, yeah. That's huge.
That is a significant statement, right?
Yeah.
Against a team of that caliber. It showed the Mets hitters could be patient, capitalize on mistakes, and then Pittsburgh at Milwaukee, Game 1 of that doubleheader.
Oh, that Brewers game. That was just a statement. An absolute masterclass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
14-0.
What-
Their offense was just an unstoppable force, a complete rout. Signals they're a serious contender, I think.
It absolutely does.
Okay.
But maybe even more shocking was the Red Sox winning 14-1 against the Astros.
Yeah, that one jumped out. Boston just steamrolled a really talented Astros team.
Right, and it wasn't just like a lucky streak. It really highlighted how quickly a team can adapt, find those pitching weaknesses on a given day, and just punish anything left over the plate. Find the gaps, hitting consistently.
And then to wrap up the offensive fireworks show, the Padres. Game 2 against the Giants. winning 11-1. That felt like a complete dismantling of a division rival.
Definitely. A clear message sent there. Padres are a team to be feared.
So looking at all these high scores.
Well, what's fascinating is the sheer power, obviously, but also the strategy behind it all, It's not just hitting homers. It's about stringing hits together. It's executing with runners on and consistently putting pressure on pitchers, forcing those mistakes, making them uncomfortable.
Okay, so we've seen dominance through pitching, dominance through hitting. Leads you to wonder, right? What happens when teams are pushed to their absolute limits? Because yesterday was also packed with nail biters.
That grueling test, the doubleheader.
Yeah, exactly. The Marlins and Guardians game, that was a real back-and-forth affair. Kept you guessing right till the end. The Guardians getting that narrow one-run win, it wasn't about one big swing. It was more a testament to their bullpen closing the door.
Wow.
And their defense making those clutch plays shows their resilience in tight games. And the Freeway Series, Dodgers and Angels, it really lived up to the hype, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
A thrilling one-run win for the Angels. Just a classic rivalry game where every single pitch, every play felt huge.
I could feel it.
Yeah. And for the Angels, that's got to be a massive morale boost.
Absolutely. Shows how much one rivalry game can swing momentum. Meanwhile, you had the Blue Jays putting together a really solid kind of all-around performance against the Cubs, winning 5-1. What stood out there was how efficient their starter was. Limited base runners early, let the offense settle in and build a lead without pressure.
Right. Speaks to a well-rounded team. Consistency. Okay, let's talk about the endurance test then. The doubleheaders, some teams manage splits, showing real resilience, like the Nationals and Royals. Game 1, a high-scoring Royals win 8-5, showed off their offense. But Game 2, complete flip, a thriller. Nats bounce back, win 8-7. That shows some serious grit, right? Adjusting midday like that.
Definitely. And the Tigers and White Sox doubleheader showed that too, that kind of Jekyll and Hyde thing. Game 1 was high scoring, 9-6 White Sox win, both teams hitting.
Yeah.
But Game 2, like we said, complete opposite. Classic 1-0 pitching duel, Tigers win. It just perfectly illustrates how adaptable teams need to be. How deep.
Totally different games, just hours apart.
Exactly.
And then you had the sweeps, the Rockies. Wow. After that 3-0 pitching gem in Game 1, Game 2 was much closer, 6-5, but they still got it done. Sweeping the Cardinals on the road, that's a major surprise. Huge win for them. Shows impressive determination.
Huge. And Arizona also swept their doubleheader with Texas. Game 1 was tight, 3-2, showed their resilience. Game 2, a 6-4 win, kind of confirmed it, Arizona just looked like the better, more complete team on that day.
And of course, the Padres sweep over the Giants, 5-1, and then that 11-1 dismantling. That really cemented their dominance in that head-to-head.
Yeah, no doubt.
So connecting this back to the bigger picture, those doubleheaders, they create such a fascinating dynamic, don't they?
They really do.
Teams are forced to dig so deep into their rotations, their bullpens. It tests depth and endurance in a way single games just rarely do.
Exactly right. The splits, they often tell a story of two pretty evenly matched teams, just grappling, each taking a turn being dominant, then getting dominated. But the sweeps, especially when one game is a blowout like some of these, that often reveals a pretty significant mismatch, either in talent or just execution on the day.
Yeah.
It's not just about winning two games. It's about that consistent execution under, immense physical and mental pressure.
So looking back at this whole day, it's clear it was way more than just a collection of scores, right? We actually saw shifts in the season's narrative happening in real time.
Oh, definitely. Those dominant performances, like the Brewers sweeping the Pirates, especially that 14-0 game, that sends a seismic wave, truly. These teams didn't just win, they asserted their authority. They showcased firepower, pitching consistency. It marks them as serious contenders. You have to think they're ready for a deep run.
And the Padres' sweep over the Giants felt similar. Just pure assertion.
Yeah. Equally powerful, signaling their intent loud and clear.
But we also can't overlook the surprises, the unpredictability. The Rockies sweeping the Cardinals in St. Louis. That's a story of pure grit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beating the odds. That kind of win can define a season for an underdog team, build huge confidence.
Absolutely. And then the Red Sox. That shocking 14-1 win over Houston. It's just such a powerful reminder of baseball's inherent unpredictability.
Right.
Past performance, reputation. Sometimes it means nothing when a team just gets incredibly hot and exploits every single weakness. Doesn't matter who the opponent is.
It really is amazing seeing that full spectrum of play all in one day, from the raw power of a lineup like the Brewers putting up 14 to the almost elegant, suffocating dominance of a pitcher in that Mariners 1-0 win. Just beautiful in different ways.
And this day showed us all those facets, didn't it? What really defines a dominant team? Is it winning blowouts? Is it grinding out those close ones, showing resilience? We saw it all. The Yankees, the Blue Jays, they keep showing why they're considered top tier, just consistently executing. And even the Dodgers losing that close one to the Angels in that rivalry setting. That adds another layer of intrigue, shows even the best can be challenged on any given day.
It was definitely a day of stark contrasts, glorious wins, crushing defeats, just reaffirmed why we love this sport, right?
Absolutely.
The standings shifted, narratives got rewritten, and the stage is definitely set for an even more dramatic finish to the season now. So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe something to think about. What does a single day like yesterday, with all those wild swings, shutouts to blowouts, the upsets, what does it truly tell us about the nature of competition? Especially when human performance meets the strategy of a 9-inning game.
That's a good question. And maybe, how do those individual stories, dominance or resilience on one day, how do they compound over 162 games? When is pure talent enough? And when does that sheer grit, that determination, become the real deciding factor when you're chasing a championship? Keeps us hooked, doesn't it? Every pitch.